In the 2012-13 season, Man United won the Premier League, despite not being able to beat my club Grimsby Town, now in the League Cup. And they were last in their best in 2013, but today we're flashing back to simulate the Premier League, as a lot of teams want at their strongest, a lot of retro badges, a lot of retro teams, as we'll be taking over a few, using them legendary players that were available, rewriting history, thanks to Shadowboy32 and his mod pack. As yes, people, very excited about the redoing of the Premier League, now going to a different era to last time we did it on the channel, and 2013 marked the end of the reign for Sir Alex Ferguson, so it's only right we use the GOAT of management, the Scottish legend, and take over Manchester United as our first team in this save, where the ratings aren't actually over the odds for everyone. Yes, Rooney shouldn't be in the defence, it's a rather randomated lineup, but we are going to put it into a good one. Then we're going to sim one season with each team. As what we do is we take charge of, for example, Manchester United to start off with, and whoever wins the Premier League, we will jump to next time. We'll check the transfers, the players, the goal scorers, everything, the team of the year, and the budgets, because we only had £43 million back then. And I don't know why we said we, because I am not a Manchester United fan, as this was the Premier League way back when. We've got Wigan, West Brom, Swansea, Sunderland, Stoke, Reading, QPR, Norwich City, a lot of teams like your Brentfords, like your Brightons not available yet. As actually, let's go back and check what was the N-Power Championship. You've got Bolton with their old badge, a lot of decent teams, some in the Premier League now. Wolves and Forest were actually down there. Bournemouth and Brentford were in League One. As you can tell by the shambles of players they had way back when, Stuart Dallas. Ryan Fredericks is another one. As yes, we're going to just sim without making any signings to the current team we are coaching, because we're not really coaching them. I'm not going to be doing any tactics or anything like that with the squads. Just checking actually the players they have and probably picking the best team they got. As down here in the reserves for United, we've got Henderson at only 15, we've got McTominay at 15, Marcus Rashford the same, and this is probably United's best team, which puts Van Persie on the bench, as this is the season De Gea turned up, and this is the season they went off track, as they haven't won the Premier League since this season, I believe. As let's see if they can do it again with the likes of Retro Wayne Rooney up front. As I've got huge aspirations for Manchester United in this rebuild, as there, oh, never mind, it's just flicking me off the team of the season. There it is, the team of the year, and I am not going to be mentioning the right midfielder. We've got loads of Chelsea players in there, and Manchester City. Oh, as I don't think the fans will like this one. Manchester United, ex-player Tevez. Oh dear. Player of the year with Manchester City. So yeah, that's going to be unsettling to some, as this is the United lineup, and one problem that this team has had, Robin Van Persie, not one of those, but loads of players are getting older, as you can see. Patrice Evra, 32. Apart from Chicharito, who's getting older, but we all know he left Man United, and the top scorer at the club isn't him, it's Van Persie, after he made the move from Arsenal to United, this save is. As speaking of moves, any controversial ones, I need to go to the highest paid, as there's Neymar rewriting history, going to Bayern Munich, as Schweinsteiger to Barcelona, Yaya Touré to Real Madrid. Real life repeated there with Pedro to Chelsea, Eriksen to Barcelona, Firmino Real Madrid. Udinese make a big money move. Not huge money spent everywhere, and the Premier League table, that is not what I expected. You know the Man United team is getting older, but Chelsea on top, and I actually stumbled on my words looking at QPR in 7th. That actually might get them into the Conference League. One I did expect, and then the Community Shield won by Manchester City. That Tevez move won't go down well, or it didn't go well, because it's already happened. Or happened ages ago, as Brighton trying to make a move to the real-life stature of a Premier League team, taking a Premier League team to the finale. In Wigan, who actually won it, and in the Carabao Cup, absolute cinema, Bolton Wanderers beat Manchester City 2-0 on penalties. Not the only Premier League club to be took to penalties by a non-Prem team. And I am talking real life there, as Manchester City, top of the UCL league phase. Will be interesting to see it as league phase, as I'm also going to try and see who finished highest out of the English clubs in Europe. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to go through the team that won the most Prems, FA Cups, all the Cups, to see how they did as Manchester City. Manchester City reached the finale, which we can see if they won next season, because we'll get to see the Super Cup, and we are going to be changing our team. The next team we go for is Chelsea, and if you're excited to see 10 seasons of doing retro FC saves, make sure you tell me to do more down below, and subscribe because we're on the race to 60,000. And United fans, cover your eyes, just like when Fergie left and just like you did on the 27th of August at 11:30, because United won't like that. Chelsea have got Alex Ferguson, as yes, I'm just going to stick with Fergie. It saves me a lot of time when changing clubs in the retro rebuilding, as now Chelsea also have a lot of aging players like Lampard and JT. Although the squad on the whole to me looks a lot better than Manchester United's were. Man United's were better players, but they were on the way down, declining in age, such as Scholesy, and then when you've got Hazard coming in at 22, a very young Aspilicueta, Juan Mata's only 25. Yeah, it's not really fair, is it? I mean, you've got a team here on the up, and you just had a team there on the down. That's probably the best team we can make. Oh, but maybe not, because we've got Pedro down here and Didier Drogba, then a 48 rated 16-year-old Tomori. And some players you just forget about, the likes of Patrick Bamford up front in a Chelsea kit. Dominic Solanke the same. Can you believe he's actually at Tottenham now? Marco Marine, the Matt HD Gamer lookalike if I'm not wrong. And also Declan Rice. He's 14. He started off at Chelsea. Unfortunately not here with his buddy, what was his name? Mason Mount, who also left the club. Bolton are now in the Premier League after winning the Cup. And I can't really spot the other teams that came up, but I guess just some good ones. Leeds United are there. And was Burnley the other team that weren't already here? I don't know, as Chelsea's budget sits 2 times Man United's. As will they win 2 times as many trophies? Picking up another one. Uh-oh, and it's the creep forward of Manchester City, not Chelsea anymore. They drop down to 3rd, as United still in 7th. We've got West Brom hitting 6th. Norwich above Arsenal and going down. Leeds United, Bolton and Burnley. Burnley picking up 1 win, I swear. If it's a 3 up, 3 down thing always happening, I won't be very impressed, as I'm impressed by that pen shootout. It's the same level of pen shootout between Grimsby and Man United. As yes, I've not let that go. And hey, we've won a trophy under our management, and I say management very loosely. All I do is set up the squad. But Chelsea grabbed the FA Cup, Manchester City grabbed that double, and last year, well, they're not in the Super Cup, so they lost the UCL finale. And this year, could they go better? Well, they aren't the best in the league phase of the Champions League, as Chelsea actually reached the semi-final. So it looks like Chelsea and City are the English teams going head-to-head. However, we've still got a dominant striker who we managed last year, Robin van Persie. Samir Nasri will get to coach next year at Manchester City, as they've got a lot of assisters. And then clean sheets. Cop sheet taker is Joe Hart, or clean sheet taker. That's what I meant to say. I still haven't got any sleep since the game the other day, Grimsby Town game, and that is the last you will hear of it, as Juan Mata the top scorer above Torres, above Eden Hazard, who's got the young face. In game, as the player of the year is Suarez at Liverpool. Maybe we get to use Liverpool very soon, because they did finish 2nd. However, it be City up next, as Di Maria has gone to Juve, Ribery has gone to City, we will coach, and Wayne Rooney to Barcelona. And I've saved everybody the footage of seeing Fergie walk in as manager of this club, which of course is Manchester City. His old rivals, we've got a brilliant defender in company, and then up front we've got Dzeko, Aguero at an 89 rating. As even on the bench down here, Akinfi for decent goalie back in his day, Balotelli, Tevez, Sinclair as a youngster, and even more youngsters down here. We've got Keylor Navas. Is it? No, it isn't Keylor Navas. It's Jesus Navas, Sevilla legend, who can go into this team, as when we organise this, it should be good. Just look at that. We've got Jean Moutinho in there, Ribery and Clichy. If I'm not saying City are the most dominant team at the end of this, I do not know what I want to say or do. As David Silva in the retro kit looks so nice, but we've also got some youngsters here. Some regens right at the top, but as you can see, we've got future stars in Phil Foden and Cole Palmer, only 12 and losing a face scan, as it's the only mod we haven't seen working. But shout out Shadowboy32, he's done incredible jobs. Pantilimon just looking like Mini Minter, even more so than he does in real life, as the Prem. looking like how it started. It just looks like it's going up and going down for the relegation and promotion teams. Wolves now in this. I realised Wolves weren't in it before. So let's see what happens going into Season 3 with Retro Premier League. Let me know, or actually don't let me know in the comments, because I know I'm obviously wrong, but where is the likes of Lescott and Stephen Ireland? Have I got the wrong era of Manchester City? Am I too early? Am I too late? Because we've got Rodwell here and also Scott Sinclair with 30 goals. That is 24 more than Franck Ribéry at 32. Yes, granted, but James Milner got 15 assists. And he was still 29 at this point in the save. It's unbelievable. The longevity in that man, as Aubameyang's gone to Chelsea. As Hangabout, that actually happened in real life, didn't it? Such a forgettable move, I forgot, as now the transfer fees are going up. We've got Higuain to Inter, returning from Real Madrid. We've got Aubameyang, who was at Saint Etienne right there. Lukaku's chosen Bayern Munich. Rodrigo, oh my days. Flashback for Leeds United fans. Fernando, Gomez, Garay, Hatem Ben Arfa. What a shame he's just left the Premier League, because what a player he was. As look at that top three. Now it is Chelsea going back to the top spot, with United in third, us in second, meaning the next team we're taking over is Spurs, who finished fourth. Granted a Champions League position. As one thing I want to do here, no, the Conference League actually isn't in it, is check the Europa League. Check how the English teams did in this. As we've got West Brom there getting hammered by Benfica. Maybe I don't check it. That could be a depressing feat, as we've got Arsenal winning the FA Cup, Aston Villa claiming their first trophy in the Carabao over Liverpool, and Chelsea got furthest in the Champions League, the only English team in the quarter-finals. As here's Tottenham, and they have not surprisingly enough brought the world's best player, or one of the world's best, the best we've seen so far in Gareth Bale, to my attention. They've got Lloris, they've got Vertonghen, but here there's a couple more regens. We've got Sharp in the midfield, Miller down on the bench, Monreal, who was actually an Arsenal player, Jovetic, Mustachio, Farfan, Tom Huddleston had made the move. We've got Bentley on the way down. Okay, Luke Shaw at 19 and John Terry? Oh dear, so we definitely are rewriting history. The 34-year-old retiree is at Tottenham. Sol Campbell 2.0, as he's getting paid a lot of money here. Maybe that's why he made the move. But Gareth Bale, the highest. And I think with having a decent right mid in Farfan, yes, he's 30, but he is pacey. We've got to move him to the right midfield slot. Or right wing, we've got to use Scott Parker, the captain, and Dembele, with Bale at left back. How is this going to work out for Spurs? Well, we've got our answer, and that answer is just fine. Spurs go and win the Premier League, 1 point over bitter rivals Arsenal, which they'll be singing about, then Chelsea, then Liverpool. Manchester City, after we have left the club, fall to 7th. That's disgusting for them, especially with the team we just saw as Blackburn Rovers popped their heads up, but they go down with Borough and with Queen's Park Rangers. A shame, as then we've got Arsenal winning the FA Cup. They're winning it a lot, and that is their competition. They hold the record for the most wins, as West Ham on penalties grabbed themselves a Carabao Cup. Despite the fact I am counting trophy winners, it's always nice to see an anomaly. And obviously I am counting teams that have done well in Europe, as the Retro Atleti badge makes sure they beat Retro Chelsea. Again, going far in Europe, but I do want to see this team we've had, and did it play Bale out of position? Well, if he was at left back, 30 goddamn goals from there is pretty goddamn impressive, but I'm guessing he has played on the wing, with Jovetic getting the most. A player that would have just been at Manchester City, the coach team we did, and oh my days, he's won the Player of the Year as Jovetic. Despite scoring less goals than Giroud, it is him and Gareth Bale on the list above Van Persie, who was usually dominant. Suso's come through the Liverpool ranks. As coming through the transfer ranks, let's have a look at the most spent. Godin has gone. Busquets, Gaitan, Fabregas. Unfortunately not at Arsenal, but we did see 2 more signings. For the Gunners, they should be down here. Gaitan's one of them. And Busquets at an 88 overall. That is sensational. There's the Lindelof here. Bender. We've also got Thomas Soucek. Spotter before his West Ham days. On the bench. Oh my days. Streets won't forget. Shamak and Walcott. Even Laporte here. Podolski up front. Gervinho, oh my days. Imagine if KSI had this mod pack. Basically made half of his career as Saka's in that under-21 squad, and then we've got Busquets as the best player, the new signing. As in this alternate universe, no Fabregas, instead they've gone for Sergio, which I'm actually not too mad about. We've got Alex Song, another Barcelona to be player. As Arsene had this team cooking, we're in a normal Premier League, there is no shocks in promotion. I swear this isn't changing. And it's going to be tasty because technically we've just moved from Spurs to Arsenal, and the Community Shield will be the North London derby. As can you believe, we're almost halfway through, and maybe looking at this, I shouldn't be checking the team of the season, maybe just the team of the week. We get to see interesting players like Sillyson at Sunderland with Phil Barsley, Jimenez at Stoke, Rafinha at Swansea. This is why I love doing stuff like this. Look at the rating, the age, the team he has chosen. Ballon d'Or nominee, by the way, who was the top scorer? It won't be our highest rated midfielder, as it's Walcott, 29 goals, 12 assists, with Giroud actually being up there, but it's Aguero on goals. We've got Aubameyang, Javier Hernandez and Danny Welbeck. Two other Arsenal ex-players in there. We've got assists right there with Key on it. And clean sheets, Swansea City getting a lot of acknowledgement this season. And that is the reason why I fully expect to be taking over Liverpool as our next team, but our next team will be Swansea City, getting themselves into the Champions League. What have they done for Welsh football and also themselves? Really good finish by them, and I struggle to breathe then. As that London derby, oh my days, brilliant finish. We'll love to see the penalties come out of the box as it's Arsenal's. Time to shine as Liverpool win the Emirates FA Cup and Tottenham win the Carabao. Yet again, Swansea popping up here. Halfway through the save, and could they join the top 6 Sky Sports version? As Liverpool lead the way in the Champions League phase, will they go the furthest? Well, yes, because only them and Arsenal made it to the round of 16, both getting beaten. And Arsenal scored more goals, so I'm going to count them as the furthest English team in the competition. As we now reach halfway through, I know, it's sad. It feels like we've only just started. 2 players leaving Arsenal. As can we actually flick to the most paid money or most expensive players, as it's Insigne going to Real Madrid, Falcao, Koke, and there he is, the main man Mohamed Salah. And here we go, Swansea with this team reached the Champions League. It is Danny Graham up front. The streets will never forget. Same with Michu. Everybody knows his name if you watch the Premier League. In the 2010 era, and cover your eyes, Leeds United fans, as I don't even want to start on Pierre Lasogga. Absolute man mountain, I've got to say. There's a few regens in this club. I've actually got better players down here. Farman, Berardi actually left Sao Paulo. Or is it Sassuolo? I think it's Sassuolo. Then Rafinha, like we saw previously, who I would love to put into this team, as when we do put the best team together, now I start to understand a little bit more how they got into Europe. Still, I'm not fully convinced, and I do want to see the size of Pierre Lasogga. There he is. No face scan, but he's a man mountain. With Berardi, just look at him in the Swansea kit. It doesn't look real. Danny Graham the same. And of course, Rafinha. Now, he did play for Leeds when they just got promoted, so I'm talking like it's unrealistic. But knowing the facts we do now, that he is Ballon d'Or nominated. It's mental, and it didn't last for long as Everton go down, but 10th for the Swans. Really unfortunate, as who's the next team to coach? I'm guessing if there's no surprises, Newcastle actually getting up there, but it will be Liverpool. Liverpool are the next team we take charge of. As I should turn my camera on before speaking, as we've got Chelsea winning the FA Cup. I think we know who's dominant in most of these competitions. However, another anomaly. West Ham make a final of the Carabao once again, but it is Sunderland. Away the lads, if I've not said the wrong club there. Let's stick with up the Mackhams, as oh my days, Manchester City flopped harder than Swansea City did in this Champions League. As Real Madrid won the league phase, Paris trying to get into their element. But Sevilla make the finale against Real Madrid. Sevilla, or should I say Valencia? Valencia even, wow. Actually made it that far. English team, no. There was Genoa in there. The English team furthest is Manchester United. Wonder if they're on their way back, but I do want to see this Valencia team. Okay, it's no surprise they're actually that good. Andre Ayew in his prime. Edison Cavani at 31, so he was getting into his older stage. And there he is, Julian Lescott. I wonder where he'd gone. He'd gone to Spain. Maybe doing a bit of DJing. I know he likes to get on with that thing. As top goal scorer, I'm very surprised to see it's not Michu. It's actually Danny Graham at a 73 overall. So very impressive from who I thought was the Scotsman. As heading into the 7th season, we will be taking charge of Liverpool, as a lot of money being spent now, and a lot of money on regen players. And if you didn't spot it right there, Luis Suarez has left the club. He's gone to Arsenal in a whopping bid of 118 million, which we won't actually get to spend. We can see if it's been reinvested, as we've got the first rating that's gone crazy in Henderson to an 86. Joe Allen, I'm surprised he wasn't still at Swansea. And Connor Cody as a CDM. That literally shows you how long he's been around. He's only 25 here. We've got regens in Rossi, in Lima. I mean, look at the highest rated. It's Gerard Piqué, ex-Manchester United, Fernandinho, ex-City. So that's not going to go down very well. Actually, no, I haven't scrolled across to actually see some of the high ratings as well. We've got Mancini and this man, Raheem the Dream Sterling. An England international he went on to be, as we all know. But we're actually missing one of the biggest England internationals from Liverpool in Gerrard, not here. Yes, I might have spelt it different. I've checked everything. Steven Gerrard's retired. So Liverpool could be in the mud. As season 7 and these videos just absolutely fly by, as flying up the table now is Arsenal trying to compete with Chelsea. And City on trophies, as you can see, they've won an FA Cup, and the team we take over next is going to be Newcastle. Try and cheer you guys up after losing Isaac, and hey, before we even step into the club, they've won a trophy in the Carabao. Looks like that trophy's just going to teams that aren't Sky Sports top 6. And try saying that 10 times faster, as Liverpool flop in Europe, with the furthest team being Arsenal reaching the final against Sampdoria, a team that in real life has been relegated to Serie C. It's actually a shame to see what's happened to them, as let's try and find the squad. To have a look, another ex-Leeds player, Gatteo Berardi's on their books. A young Eric Dyer. Okay, he must be trying to come good. With Fellaini and Iniesta as midfielders, and a young Kylian Mbappe, man. What a Sampdoria cooking. Shove every niche footballer into a pot, and you've got the Italian giants. As speaking of giants, let's actually have a look right now at the top players. In Cristiano Ronaldo down to an 84 still at Madrid, and Messi at a 94 still at Barcelona. That settles the debate of who's better, as our top scorer was a now 90 rated Riccardo Mancini, who I'm surprised is not at Sampdoria, as the biggest transfers going on. We've got Carvajal to manage next year. Verratti's moved James Rodriguez to be the next Silva replacement, and screw it, I don't want to see the team of the season. I want to see the team of the week, with all the interesting names in it, which is very different to what we usually look at. I wanted to see if we had any Newcastle United players on there, and we did, as here comes Fergie to turn them around. And Shola Amiobi, De Jong, Jared Bowen has arrived, and that's a realistic sign-in. Despite him not actually going there, he is a player who comes from up north, that direction on. And then on the bench, we've got Schmelzer. Good. Never heard of him. I hope he's literally good, but he doesn't look it. And a very class goalkeeper in Rizzo, 89. Strong defenders here at Newcastle. Then Luke de Jong as a striker. I do love the kit, though. The Virgin Money sponsor, absolutely iconic. As Newcastle United here look like they've got the money they have in real life. £114 million in that budget we've been given. And usually we go straight into the season, but I do want to check another team. A team that were in non-league at this moment in time, my club Grimsby Town. Well, it looks like all the players are actually real-life ones they have right now. They do have George McEachran, not a goalkeeper, not 52 overall, and a few regens, which I don't mind. The Grimsby Town team in next year, FC26, should be absolutely phenomenal. And look at that, we've gone and turned the Geordies from 5th to 5th. in the Premier League. Not much improvement, but the next team we manage is going to be QPR. Okay, different badge, different era. I think this was the last year they were actually in the Premier League. As look at that, we're getting realistic. Man United in 14th, Spurs in 17th, as this season is the 2020-21 season, if I'm not mistaken. So it's close to being realistic, but still a little bit early, as Liverpool win the FA Cup. Good trophy for them. And City win the Carabao to go alongside their league win. We've got 3 front runners now for the most trophies. I'm not telling you who, but it should be easy to work out, as a repeat of the first finale we had, and Manchester City there get yet another tick to their name. Interesting as the best player here at the Geordies. Oh my days, Luke de Jong. Now, he wasn't loved there in real life, but 44 goals for a man that actually played for Newcastle United when he wasn't in his prime, I think. Absolutely sensational. I won't lie, this is where my knowledge gets a little bit fuzzy, as it's Regen's taking over now, but Thiago for over 100 million. Balmy, but now we go from the top players in football to the streets, won't forget. Then again, this is a good QPR team. The most memorable players for QPR from my head is Julio Cesar and also Charlie Austin, who danced around. I think he went back to them after stints at the Saints, etc. And they've got Leroy Sané, Rakitic as a midfielder, and young Kepa Arrizabalaga on the bench, and then a regen keeper of the name Petr Cech from the Czech Republic. Coincidence, really? I don't think so, as all we've got to do is keep this team up. As let's be honest, it is luck that we're actually coaching these. Another player I think I remember is Ayman Abdennour. Think he was a Streets Won't Forget defender. But let's be honest, I've actually forgot him. So let's see if we can make it a season not to forget. And this is it, the penultimate one. If you, of course, do want to see any more of these types of rebuilds, Shadowboy32, if you want to try it yourself, that's where to go. But I might get some more to see in the future if you guys enjoy them, as the next team to coach is going to be the Canaries Norwich City. They finished 6th, Liverpool win the league, and QPR, hey, I said I just wanted to survive, and relegated is Tottenham Hotspur. They're going down to the next tier. That's unbelievable, as next year I am going to be checking the Championship. As will Tottenham still be in it in our final year? It would be amazing if so, as Chelsea win another trophy. The trophy race is heating up. It's going to be interesting, as that finale might decide who wins the most overall, with Arsenal beating Chelsea and Arsenal going furthest in Europe. Bayern Munich seem really dominant, and I am going to check the transfers, then I'm going to check the recommended players from the scout, as Jovic has left Tottenham, obviously. Can't afford to pay him anymore. Arsenal's got Van Dijk. Depay's gone to Inter. Ziyech's gone to Mainz. Mainz coughing up 90 million, as these are the recommended players to us. The Mandzukics of the world. Menez, what a player. Hulk, how have I not spoken about Hulk? I think we've coached him in our Chelsea days. And Darwin Núñez and a wet night at Stoke could be an unreal signing, as the top scorers that kept QPR in the league is Dexter Best being the best. Above Wagner and Rakitic, and one player I actually didn't realise is Ainas Hadji. Hopefully here he can reach his potential. As the final club for Old Fergie is here, and it's Norwich City, one of the yo-yo teams that's yo-yoed themselves up the table. They've had Street Won't Forget players quite recently in Teemu Pukki, but it's definitely different here, all my days. Ex-Grimsby alert, Ryan Bennett, and former Mariner, I believe he came through our academy, is here. Of the captain of a very good team, they've got Martin in there, Wellington, Trigueros, who just disappeared, Butterfield the same, DeMarcos, Ryan Bertrand at 31. Muslera's left Galatasaray. We can actually get Alexandra Pato in the team at 83 rated. Down here, he just follows us. Gomez? Corona! Oh my days, what a throwback. Remember when Corona hit? Obviously not a good thing, but everyone just talked about the footballer. Well, here he is before he retires, playing in a very retro and very nostalgic Norwich City kit. I love that one. There's not a big budget given to the Canaries, but this is our final season. We haven't bought a player. As for the final time, we'll look at some of the recommended players to sign. Just for nostalgia, there's Oyarzabal, Rodriguez, Joel Campbell, Guidetti, Tello, Gomez. Lisoga's back. Thought we'd actually seen the back of him. We've got Asadi, we've got Wabi Kazri when he was French, Budimir, and a player actually played really well recently, Konstantinos Mitroglou over at Bolton. And here we are at the final stage. Look who our final top scorer is. It's Wellington. 35-year-old, 34 goals. Still trying to keep going. There was Robert Snodgrass here who I didn't talk about. Got Corona at an 82 still, and no other players we want to talk about as they've continued to go down. But before we actually went into showing you the table, I wanted to look at Norwich City's run in the Europa League they found themselves in, but unfortunately beaten by Standard Liège. And now we go back to the Premier League before we count the overall trophies and look at the Championship, etc., as Man United almost joined Tottenham in relegation, which I can't believe I'm saying, and you can see we finished in 13th. Chelsea won the league. Very interesting, the three teams that are on top overall are them top three. But who's going to have the most trophies at the end of this, as Man City probably knocked Liverpool out the race and Arsenal beat Stoke City. So yes, them three that I just mentioned did get trophies, and Man City in the UCL finale, meaning let's have a look who are the best in Europe and etc. After we check top scorers, as Yusuf Poulsen is on top, we've got Wellington second. At least we can coach a goal scorer. Rafinha had moved to Arsenal. They've got Busquets in the assist list. Also Jared Bowen. And the best goalie now at Chelsea is Ederson above Sergio Romero. Crazy is the top signing. Well, we knew he was at Sampdoria, Mbappe, and then Haaland leaving Sunderland for Chelsea. As now we move on to trophies, and it's joint for Premier League, with Chelsea joining City, both getting 3 overall. Chelsea drawing late on with them, as the FA Cup, well, continues to be dominated by Arsenal, but Chelsea level again. Interesting, weren't it, as another draw in the Carabao Cup, with Arsenal getting 2 and City getting 2 as well. A lot of joint trophies, but will it be joint best in Europe? Well, I can actually reveal that yes, it was joint. Chelsea and Arsenal both the best, 3 times overall. But finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. Who won the most trophies? Was it City? Was it Swansea City? Well, City got 6, Chelsea got 6, and under the radar, Arsenal went and got 7. That is crazy, because they actually hardly won the Premier League as the Championship. Well, there you go. Definitely going to the Premier League as Spurs again. With Birmingham as League One, Charlton and Newport. Above the likes of Bournemouth, we've got Brentford down here in League 2. Lincoln City down here, I love to see it. Grimsby Town, oh dear. Definitely spoke too soon. We're down in 20th, above MK Dons. As like I said earlier on in the video, if you do want to see another Reset Retro video, comment below, and also hit that subscribe button.